We are honored to be joined by Mr. Gabrijel Eskobar, Deputy Assistant Secretary and Special Representative to the Western Balkans. Mr. Eskobar, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Zoran.
At the beginning, I must say that you are a veteran of the diplomacy on the Balkans. It's around 25 years you are connected with our region.
Yeah.
I tried to calculate how many personal contacts you had, relations, with the most prominent politicians in the territory of former Yugoslavia. I tried to count and I reached something like 200, 250. It's really right. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're the right address for answers for a few questions, really few questions.
Okay.
I start with first one. For the last few years, United States government, think tanks, politicians have advocated for a long-term stability, prosperity, and sound diplomatic relations in Balkans. Will the United States continue to advocate for these objectives?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll stay very, very engaged in the Western Balkans. So I want to start by saying that for the U.S. government, even though the news is dominated by the tensions and the political problems, for the United States government, the Western Balkans still remains an area of enormous opportunity. The defining characteristic of the Western Balkans right now really is strong economic growth and strong economic potential. I mean, the region has the potential to be leaders in IT, shipping, energy, infrastructure, transportation, and even tourism. The region has great universities. It's got a talented workforce and a young workforce, relatively speaking. So we'll continue to invest in that and hope that that investment in the future of the region will help to overcome some of the political problems.
This is a good news for us. Thank you. At the beginning of your mandate, you were very enthusiastic. You even said that you would do your best to bring Western Balkan states to the European Union. Do you still have that enthusiasm after all?
I do, and I think the young people of the region have that enthusiasm. And look, to be honest, given the rates of growth, the region, it's a market of about 20 million people. An economy of about 120 billion euros, with an average growth rate of 7% or higher. That's almost 5% higher than some of the larger European Union countries. So the Western Balkans, when they're fully integrated into Europe, will be a driver of economic prosperity, a driver of job growth. And I'm still very enthusiastic about that. Now, the challenge is, do the leaders of the region also see that possibility? Or are they going to remain entrenched in their current thinking about ethnic rivalry and political crisis on a permanent basis?
Thank you. Kosovo's current situation, turbulency, tension, what you can tell us as you've been there, I think 2-3 days ago, how is the situation? What's going on there? What we can expect?
Yeah, well, look, we had in Ohrid, we reached an agreement, a legally binding agreement that opens the door to a peaceful, constructive, and predictable relationship between Serbia and Kosovo on European terms. When we left Ohrid, we had a lot of enthusiasm. In the 2 months since we reached that agreement, we've had a lot of political crises. And I would say all of them were both predictable and avoidable. So we have to find a way to de-escalate the process right now, to de-escalate the situation, and go back immediately to start focusing on the implementation of the Ohrid Agreement. And for Serbia, that means to begin the process of not blocking Kosovo's European and international integration. And for Kosovo, it means immediately starting the process of the implementation of the Association of Serb Municipalities. We have to work on both of those immediately.
Ambassador Hill yesterday said, by the way, Ambassador Hill is very active, very, how to say, dedicated to the development of the bilateral relations, US and Serbia. But he mentioned that right now the Serbian part is collaborating on very good manner, on a very good way, and that Serbia as a partner is reliable. But he added that he is not sure that Mr. Kurti, Prime Minister, is, as he mentioned, our partner, that he is a partner of the United States.
I'd have to clarify that. Mr. Kurti is a partner. He's a difficult partner at times, but he is a partner. Kosovo is a partner. Serbia is a partner. So as we move forward, we want to use the good relations that we have with Kosovo and the improving relations that we have to Serbia, with Serbia, to find a way to find a mutually acceptable and mutually beneficial path so that both of them can be part of the European Union together. And not only that, but for both of them to help open the door to greater integration for the rest of the region. So we are looking to use our good relationship to help broker that future.
Thank you. And finally, how you, actually before that, could you tell us how do you envision Serbia 2025, 2030?
Well, look, if the United States had more of a decision-making role, by 2030, the entire region would be members of the European Union. But in the meantime, by 2030, we do expect that the investments in the economy will start to create real opportunities. I imagine that by 2030, all of the countries of the region will be well on their way to fulfilling all of the requirements for full membership in the European Union, will have gone a long way to cut down on corruption, to open opportunities for young people to find long-term economic futures in the region. So I see a very, very optimistic future for Serbia and for the region as a whole.
Good. And could you tell us about Open Balkan as basis, or how to say, as beginning of the collaboration between states in Western Balkan, but still there is no Montenegro, no Bosnia, and it means it's not complete.
Well, look, I think the most important part of any economic integration plan must be alignment with the European Union. The European Union, trade with the European Union constitutes about 70% of all of the trade of the region. So in other words, focusing on the European market is absolutely critical. Now, the European Union has already set out some guidelines and some metrics through the Berlin process. So the Berlin process has to be important. But in the meantime, any and all economic configurations that bring the region closer together and closer to Europe, we support, as long as they continue, as long as they do not interfere with their commitments to the European Union, and as long as they're open to all of them. It's almost to say that if 2 or 3 or 4 countries decide that they want to do their homework in advance, then it's okay, as long as that homework is the requirements of the Berlin process. So we support all of it, not exclusively and not one over the other, but all of them that bring the region closer together.
All right. That it means that we pass through the main point of our interview. Serbian population, Serbian people, Serbian state can count that United States will continue to work closely with Serbia and helping Serbia to reach membership in European Union.
Yes, absolutely. We will be a strong advocate. And look, with regard to our relationship with Serbia, for over 140 years, the United States has enjoyed a strong relationship with Serbia. In all of it, it has been a very positive relationship, with the exception of the Milosevic years. So that was the only period in which the United States and Serbia were not close friends. From the American side, the door is open to reestablishing that relationship. But at the same time, our relationship with Serbia should not threaten anyone else. We continue to have strong strategic partnerships with Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Albania, and want the same relationship with Kosovo and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So we want Serbia to be more firmly anchored in the community of friends that the United States has in Europe.
Thank you very much. And last thing, would you mind me asking if there is something exclusive that you can share with us, or nothing exclusive? Because we read in newspaper that probably you visited the White House this morning, or you will visit afternoon hours.
I have been invited to give a briefing to the White House on the results of my trip to Belgrade and Pristina. And based on the progress or the lack of progress, we will have to decide our next course of action.
Thank you very much for this interview. And by the way, I'm leaving tomorrow evening to Montenegro. Election is on Sunday.
That's right.
Let's hope that the right parties will win.
I hope. And, any party in Montenegro that is focused on European integration, that is committed to Montenegro's NATO membership, and is committed to the fight against corruption can count on our support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zoran.
Being with us. Thank you.
Goodbye.